into a new condo. Got the bedrooms in the garage downstairs. The second floor, got the kitchen, the living room, and I have a little deck that I go out onto in the morning, have a cigarette, have a cup of coffee, nice day. And I noticed this very attractive lady. She had a condo set up just like mine. And she would come out onto her deck in the morning, and I would come out onto mine. We'd wave to each other. We were just a little too far away from each other to really have a conversation. And then one morning she came out, and she held up her finger, giving me the universal 1 moment, 1 minute sign. I nodded my head. I saw her go back into her condo. She came out through her front door, heading right for mine. Just in time as she rang the doorbell, I rushed downstairs, I opened the door. I could see she was all hot and bothered. And she goes, I feel so horny, I want to get drunk, and I want to have sex all night long. Are you available later? I was trembling. I goes, yes, I am. She goes, good. Will you watch my dog? Thank you. Thank you. By show of hands, how many people here have cats? Me included. By show of hands, how many people have dogs? Dogs. Very good. You guys, boyfriend, girlfriend? You married? How long are you married? You just got married? 2 years? 4 years? And you have a dog already? What's your name? What is it? Sam? Oh, Anne. How about your name? Larry? All right. Let me ask you, who's your best friend? Your dog or your wife? Bullshit. You take your wife and your dog, put them in the trunk of your car. An hour later, when you open it, she was happy to see you. This woman, she has a dog. It's a Schnauzer. When she calls the dog doesn't come over to her right away. She's concerned. She takes the dog to the vet. The vet examines the dog's ears and says, ma'am, there's nothing wrong with this dog's hearing. What I might suggest, though, is once a month, take a little nail, rub it around inside the dog's ear, take the excess hair out, and whenever you call the dog, he'll come to you right away. So on her way home, she stops at the pharmacy. She gets a tube of nail, she puts it on the counter. And the pharmacist said, if you're going to use this under your arms, don't put deodorant on for a couple of days. She goes, it's not for that. He goes, well, if you're going to use it on your legs, don't put cold cream on for a couple of days. She goes, it's not for that either. But if you must know, it's for my Schnauzer. The pharmacist said, in that case, don't ride your bicycle for a week. There's this old couple walking hand in hand down on the beach in Miami. The old guy goes to the old lady, goes, Ethel, how old do you think I am? She goes, if you take out your penis and let me feel it, I'll tell you. He whips it out, she feels it. She goes, you're 85. He goes, how did you know? She goes, you told me yesterday. You guys are a great audience. Give yourselves a big hand. Come on. Let me hear it. Beautiful thing. This atheist, he gets on a plane and he sits down next to this little girl who's reading a book. He said, little girl, put your book away, let's have a conversation. It makes the flight go a lot quicker, it's more interesting. Little girl goes, okay, what do you want to talk about? He goes, I don't know, how about there's no God, there's no heaven, there's no hell? Little girl goes, okay, but first let me ask you a question. He goes, what? She goes, a deer, a cow, and a horse all eat the same thing, hay. When a deer goes, he goes in pellets. When a cow goes, he goes in a flat pie. And when a horse goes, he goes in clumps. Can you explain that to me? And the atheist scratches his head. He goes, young lady, he goes, I really don't know the answer to that. She goes, and you want to talk about God, heaven, and hell when you don't know shit? Thank you, thank you. There's an Englishman, a Scotchman, and an Irishman. They're having pints of beer in a pub in Manchester, and the Scotchman goes, at my favourite pub in Edinburgh, he goes, you have 3 beers and the landlord buys you the 4th. The Englishman goes, oh, that's nothing. At my favourite pub in London, you have 2 beers and the landlord buys you the 3rd. The Irish goes, that's nothing, laddies. He goes, at my favorite pub in Galloway, you walk in, they buy you your first beer, your second beer, as many beers as you want, and then they take you upstairs and they get you laid. And the Englishman and Scotchman are looking at him. They said, has this ever happened to you? He goes, well, not exactly, laddies, but it's happened to my sister several times. To somebody you haven't seen in quite some time. That happened to me. I saw this guy. I was, hey Joey, how you doing? He goes, I am doing fine. Hey Joey, you don't stutter anymore. What happened? I went to the doctor and he said if I speak slowly, I will not stutter. Gee Joey, that's great. How's your girlfriend married? We are not getting married anymore. Gee Joey, what happened? Well, we were sitting on the couch watching TV and the dog was scratching his back. I said, Marianne, when we get married, I'd like you to do that to me. And she threw the ring in my face. Gee, Joey, why did she do that? Well, as you know, I speak slowly, and by the time she looked at the dog, he was licking his balls. There's this couple, they're in their 70s, they're talking about getting married. The woman goes, when we get married, I want to keep my house. He goes, no problem. She goes, I want to keep my Cadillac too. He goes, no problem. She goes, and I want sex 6 days a week. He goes, I'll take Fridays. Anybody here from Brooklyn at all?
Yep.
All right, what's Brooklyn known for?
Good people, mafia, pizza.
Oh, so you're talking attitude, right? Yeah, that's right. These two Middle Eastern men, they immigrate to America, and of all places, they settle in Brooklyn. They have a contest to see which one of them will be more Americanized in 1 year's time. Approximately 1 year later, the two men meet. One said to the other, my friend, I am more Americanized than you. We eat Krispy Kreme donuts. We have McDonald's for breakfast. We have American flags all over our house. We watch lots of baseball on TV. My son, he plays ice hockey. I coach the team. My wife, she drives to PTA and Chevy. Therefore, my friend, I think I am more Americanized than you. Now, the other guy really settled in, and he developed the Brooklyn attitude. He looked at him and said, go fuck yourself, towelhead. Man comes home from work. He sees his wife watching a cooking show on TV. He goes, hey, why are you watching that cooking show? You don't know how to cook. She looked at him over her shoulder. And she said, you watch porn, don't you? Who's got teenagers here? Show of hands, teenagers at home. Teenagers are crazy. These three moms are talking about their teenage daughters. Brunette mother goes, I was going for my daughter's things, I found a pack of cigarettes. I can't believe she smokes. The redhead mother goes, I was going for my daughter's things, I found a bottle of liquor. I can't believe she drinks. The blonde mom goes, I was going for my daughter's things, and I found a box of condoms. I can't believe she has a penis. This next one you're gonna like. I want to hear it in the applause. Mothers and daughters have a special relationship. And this one daughter goes to her mother, she goes, Mom, she goes, I want to get a divorce from Herb. And the mother goes, why do you want to get a divorce from Herb? She goes, he's a sex maniac. When we first got married, I had the vagina the size of a nickel. Now it's the size of a 50-cent piece. The mother goes, you're crazy. Herb is a multi-millionaire successful businessman. You live in an 8-bedroom mansion. You drive around in a $250,000 car. He gives you $2,000 a week to spend anywhere you want. You go on 6 vacations a year. Why would you give that up for 45 cents? Oh, that's fun. Anybody go on those dating sites at all? Guess I'm one of the only dicks here, huh? This young couple, they're in their 30s. They meet on one of those dating sites, and they end up having dinner together. Now, she's in finance, he's in construction. She goes, do you drink? He goes, yes, I do. She goes, what do you drink? He goes, I drink 3 6-packs of beer a day. She goes, how much is a 6-pack? He goes, $10. She goes, that's about $1,000 a month. Do you realize if you never drank, you could be driving around in a Maserati now? He goes, let me ask you a question. She goes, what? He goes, do you drink? She goes, no. He goes, where's your fucking Maserati? This guy with an orange penis goes to the doctor. The doctor examines him and comes to the conclusion the man's orange penis is work-related. The doctor says, excuse me, sir, what do you do for a living? The guy says, I don't really do anything. I'm unemployed, I'm depressed, I lie around the house all day, I smoke marijuana, I watch porno movies, and I eat a lot of cheese doodles. Stay away from the red pistachio nuts. It's a real killer. This nun is on a train, and she's seated opposite a guy in a turban, and he's eating a box of shrimp. And every time he eats a shrimp, he flicks the shrimp tail right at the nun and sneers. Now, very deftly, quickly, artfully, the nun bats the shrimp tail out of the train window with the back of her hand. He eats a shrimp, he flicks it at it, he sneers. He eats a shrimp, he flicks it at it, he sneers. Finally, when he's finished, he stands up to throw the empty box out of the train window, and as soon as he does that, the nun stands up and she grabs the emergency cord and pulls it. He starts to laugh at her. He goes, oh, you stupid nun, you stupid Catholic nun, now you get a $250 fine. The nun yells out, oh yeah, buddy? When I yell out rape and they smell your fingers, you're going to jail, you tell her. It's such a thrill being up here, and I'll have to come back again. Thank you, I appreciate it. There's this old lady, she's walking down the street. She got 2 garbage bags, one on each shoulder, and there's a cop standing there, and he notices that one of the bags has a hole in it, and a $20 bill falls out. He goes, excuse me, ma'am. He goes, that bag has a hole in it. You just lost $20. She goes, oh, thank you, officer. She picks it up. She goes, I'll retrace my steps to see if I can retrieve any others I might have lost. He goes, wait a second, ma'am. He goes, where'd you get our money? You didn't steal it, did you? She goes, oh, no, officer. She goes, I live on a golf course, and the golfers, they come over, and they put their fingers through a knothole in my fence, and they pee on my flowers and kill them. She goes, I used to get very angry at first, and then I figured out there was a way I could make money. Now when I hear them walking over, she goes, I crouch down behind the fence with a pair of garden shears. And when they put their finger through the knothole, I grab it and I put the shears on. I say, give me $20 or I'll cut it off. And the cop starts to laugh. He goes, ma'am, he goes, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. That is hilarious. By the way, what do you have in the other bag? She goes, they don't all pay. Somebody asked me for this joke, so I got to tell it. There are these 2 fleas. These 2 fleas have an arrangement to meet each other every winter down in Miami for winter vacation. And one year, one of the fleas shows up. He's shaking and shivering. The other flea goes, what happened to you? He goes, oh man, you won't believe it. I rode down here all the way from Newark, New Jersey in the mustache of a guy on a Harley. The other flea goes, you're crazy. I do what I do. He goes, what do you do? He goes, I go into a Newark Airport Lounge, I have a couple of cocktails, I see a nice stooge walk in, I crawl up a leg, I make myself comfortable, I fly down to Miami every winter vacation first class. The other flea goes, that's a great idea, I'll try next year. Well, the following year rolls around, and the same flea shows up again, shaking and shivering. The other flea screams at him, didn't you do what I told you to do? He goes, as a matter of fact, I did. I'm sorry. I went into the Newport Lounge. I had a couple of cocktails. I see this nice stewardess walk in. I crawled up her leg all the way up. I made myself comfortable. I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I was in the mustache of a guy in a Harley. Who's got grandchildren in the audience? Grandchildren, show your hands. All right, here's one for the grandparents. This grandfather, he's sitting on his back porch with his 5-year-old grandson. He reaches in his pocket, he pulls out a Marlboro and he fires it up. And the little boy says, "Grandpa, can I have a cigarette?" The grandfather says, "Does your pecker reach your ass?" He goes, "No, Grandpa, I got a little pecker, it doesn't reach my ass." He goes, "Then you're too young to smoke." A little while later, Grandpa reaches in a cooler, gets a cold bud, pops it, starts to drink it. Little boy says, "Grandpa, can I have a cold beer?" The grandfather says, "Does your pecker reach your ass?" "No, Grandpa, I told you I got a little pecker, it doesn't reach my ass." And the kid gets up and he goes inside the house. 5 minutes later, he comes back outside. He's got a glass of milk in one hand and a dish of cookies in the other. When the grandfather sees the cookies, he goes wild, berserk. He goes, "Hey, give me one of those cookies." Little boy says, "Does your pecker reach your ass?" He goes, "Hell yeah, my pecker reaches my ass." Little boy says, "Then go fuck yourself." Grandma made these cookies for me.